Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my November book haul. To be honest, I picked those up before Halloween, but we're coming around to doing the video now. I'm really excited because I want you to leave me a comment letting me know which book you want me to pick up in my December book haul, because this is the last book haul of the year for me. Because the next one is going to be solely books you want me to read next year, especially trying to get recommendations of like the best books you've read in 2023, because I wanted to make it a little bit of a challenge for next year. I'm really looking forward to reading your recommendations, so leave those in the comment section. And these, we're gonna go through them right now because a few of these are actually some of your recommendations already, and a few are for different challenges for next year, so I'm just starting to, you know, get ready for this. And the first one I did buy, is it self-published? I think it might be self-published. Okay, so many people have been telling me to pick this book up. This is The Bookshop and the Barbarian. Okay, I have been joking around that I wasn't going to pick it up because I have already read a book with the word barbarian in the title, and I had enough. It was Ice Planet Barbarians, if you don't know. And that book slightly traumatized me, but I've been mentioning how much cozy fantasy have been working for me lately and how much I want more of those. And this one was the number one, the first one that everyone kept leaving me as a recommendation. And frankly, cozy bookshop, that's pretty much all I know. It actually sounded like there would be like Legends and Latte vibes, which I really enjoyed the coziness of that one. So really looking forward to it. Look at that cover, absolutely stunning. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum for a beautiful cover, it feels like it's gonna give me a stroke. This is The Eternal Return of Clara Hart. I used to be absolutely obsessed with people reliving their lives over and over again, and this sounds like it will be, or just time loops in general, and this sounds like it will be another one. I've been trying to find more because I feel like I've went through all the popular ones. So this is less known. I've mentioned that I wanted to buy this. I ordered it online and they just never shipped it, so I had to cancel it and redo it. So I finally received my copy, so I will hopefully read this next year and I'll let you know how it goes. But if you have any recommendations for any books with some kind of time loop, did I do a video about it or just thought about it? Because I have been reading a ton of them and I'm still trying to find more. So speaking of time loop, one of the books that I picked up for my November box of Book of the Month might contain one. If you don't know, Book of the Month is an online service for readers. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors and help readers discover books they'll love. Their team vets hundreds of books each month and give the subscribers a choice of new and early release books. You pick the one you're interested in and they'll send it to you. They have a great skip policy, so if for whatever reason you're not interested in any of the books, you can skip a month and you won't get charged. So the two books that I picked up, the first book I picked up is Again and Again, and that's the one I'm like, I think there might be a time loop there, which I'm really into. You're not sure because the description, it just says that you're following an old, lonely man who is either clinging to his delusion or he's like 1,000-year-old. And like, to me, time loops and people living their lives for a very long time, kind of the same. And he's saying that he might be still continuing to search for the love he lost years and years ago. So I was feeling in a romantic mood for November, so I picked this one up. I like the cover. You can kind of see her on there. And the second one is the one I was saying, kind of romantic, but it talks about grief, so like not too romantic. This is The Last Love Note, and the main character, her husband passed away 2 years ago, and during a business trip, she is left behind. It's not a plane crash, it's just she's left unexpectedly stranded in a beach town. Okay, so she uses that term to process her grief and maybe fall in love again. So we'll see how that goes. So if you want to try it, I will link everything down below and I'll put on the screen the coupon code to get your first hardcover for $9.99. And yeah, I would recommend picking up one of those two. I'll let you know how I feel about them once I get to them. So I've been trying to pick up books for my challenges for next year, and I thought I had picked up more, but I'm only seeing two. So we're going to go through these two. If I find another one, good. This is Riot Baby, which I believe this was part, I want to say is it Nebula or Hugo Award? Anyway, I believe the main character sees kind of the future, like she can tell when someone is about to go on a shooting spree. That's what it says on the synopsis, or that someone is going to become like a nurse or something. So I'll let you know how that goes. It's not too big. I believe a couple of the ones that I've been adding to my TBR were from like the novella section. So I'm gonna try and, do you hear her? I'll grab her in a second. But yes, that's one of the ones that was on my list that I really want to give it a shot. I've never tried anything else by the author, but this one was the nominees. So I wanted to try them to let you know which ones are worth picking up. And the other one, I wanted to give this author a second chance. This is the daughter of Dr. Moreau, which I believe this might be another retelling. The author, I had read this the book by her. It was a YA version of a retelling, and I enjoyed the beginning a lot more than the ending. I kind of lost interest throughout the book, but I really wanted to give her a second shot, and this one obviously totally picked it up because it was pink. Oh my gosh, let me grab her. Someone locked herself in the closet. You good? She's supposed to be the smartest one. It's not looking good. You good? Crying like that. Scaring me. Couldn't find you. Okay, let's go back to business. Anyway, I'm excited to give her a second shot. I feel like debut author, I always want to try a little bit more than just the first book. The next one was also recommended to me because I've mentioned a few times how I'm kind of giving up on Japanese translations. I feel like they're often really dry, and I just never feel myself being emotionally connected to the characters, and I don't know if it's just the books that I've been picking up or just the translation. I feel like translation can make a big difference. And I've been recommended this book so many times. This is Breasts and Eggs. I believe it's about womanhood, and you're following these three women going through things. And I just noticed that on the back it also says that it's one of Elena Ferrante's top 40 books by female authors, which she's the one that wrote My Brilliant Friend, which I'm currently in the middle of that series and absolutely adoring it. So if she mentioned this book, then I need to read this even more. But yes, I'm hoping that these kind of like more feminist work might work better for me with the translation. A lot of the rest is nonfiction, so let's get rid of the only other fiction book that I'm seeing. This is Mame, and frankly I picked it up because of the cover. I'm gonna be honest, I could not find many things in the last month when I went used book shopping, but this one was really appealing to me. I remembered seeing it on a few different lists too. I believe it's just like a contemporary kind of like finding your own spot in life. So I will be giving it a shot because I'm trying to prepare it for some vlogs for next year where I pick up books based on the cover, and like I feel like so many books have like really boring covers, and this one is like bright and fun, so I wanted to give this one a shot. It will be perfect for that challenge. So the nonfiction. Oh, actually I lied, there's one more fiction. Oh, two more. For some reason or another, I keep telling myself that I want to try more classic sci-fi because I really like to see how the concept started compared to where they are now. The only thing is there's always a little bit of spice in it, so I don't know why I keep doing that to myself, but I picked this one up. This is Lucifer's Hammer, which I had added to my TBR, like books that I wanted to read years ago. And I want to say that it's is it post-apocalyptic? From the back it says that there's a gigantic comet that slams into Earth. So I think it's post-apocalyptic, which I used to be obsessed with, and I've been actually going back to it recently. So I might pick it up. Let me know right away if I need to prepare myself for something, but I'm excited anyway. Listen, when you find a book at a used bookstore that you've been wanting to read for years, it's exciting. The other one, I have read this book, but I picked it up because I like the edition. I don't do this super often, but I'm trying to hoard these Masterwork, SF Masterworks edition. They're like classic sci-fi, and this is I Am Legend, which the edition I have is ugly. So yeah, I did it to myself. It's okay though. It's gonna look very pretty on my sci-fi shelf. And this book is completely different from the movie, FYI. I feel like the title actually makes sense in the book compared to the movie, and it's also a lot more sexually violent, and I remember the movie being completely different, really. So yeah, I picked it up because edition. That edition is getting harder and harder to find. Okay, I need it. Is this one fiction or non-fiction? I don't know. This is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, which I have been wanting to try anything about her because I have heard of her, but specifically that book. And I thought it was nonfiction, but now that I'm reading about it on the back, it seems to be fiction. So that tells you everything you need to know. So it's apparently about the longing of lonely children and racism. Okay, it's a memoir, so that must be nonfiction. So yeah, I'll let you know. I've been really wanting to try it, and my library had the audiobook and then they stopped having it, so I was happy to see the physical copy. It will do. The next one, I couldn't find it in English anywhere, and I've looked, even used bookstore, online, and the used copy online are selling for like $400. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to be reading it in French. This is Les Femmes de Droite, so right-wing women. You might have been wondering in the last couple of years why, or over the years really, why some women vote against their own interest, and why this whole concept, you know? And I've heard some theories of it online, including some quotes from this book, and I was really curious to read more about it, because sometimes you just need to figure out a way to make things make sense in your head. So I'll read this. Obviously it's going to be in French, but I can translate-ish the quotes that I enjoy, so I'll let you know. But yeah, couldn't find an English edition anywhere. I believe you can read a PDF online though, so if you want to do that, I just go nuts when I read nonfiction online. I need to like put post-its, and I can't do that on the screen. So I've also been seeing this book going around, and I still think about doing a vlog where I read a lot of those popular finance books, which I feel like they tend to be so this, but my brain is like, yeah, I want to read that. The Psychology of Money, Timeless Lessons on Wealth, Greed, and Happiness. I'm curious. I feel like sometimes they tend to be either dated very quickly or like go against my morals. But I'm curious. I feel like everyone has been talking about it online. I've seen it on too many lists of like must-read nonfiction. I want to try it to see what is going on in other people's heads. So this is like research. One that is a bit more light compared to all the other ones. This is Entangled Life, How Fungi Makes Our World, Changes Our Minds, and Shapes Our Futures. That sounds really interesting to me. So I'll pick that up. Can't just read the heavy ones. I have Laziness Does Not Exist, which that was a really interesting concept that I once again heard online. TikTok. Anybody else does that? I have a friend, or I saw online, TikTok, someone talking about how laziness is not a thing. It's like a capitalistic concept. And it really blew my mind, and now I'm curious to hear more about it, because who decided what is laziness? It is technically a self-help book, which I've been so iffy, but I'm trying to like find, I feel like there's self-help and there's self-help, you know, they're different, and I feel like this might be the second category. Like it actually has some like science background. I mean, the author has a PhD, doesn't always mean anything, but I'm curious. Anyway, this is what I meant. Plus, it's actually a fun cover. Then we have Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. I have seen this one going around, and I've been trying to read more books about racisms to try to unlearn, I should say, things that I've learned throughout my life. So that's one on my list. And last but not least, I have Regretting Motherhood, which I thought that was an interesting concept. I feel like it's becoming more and more accepted to talk about the pros and cons. I feel like it used to be really taboo, but I'm interested. I don't want any kids. I've been very vocal about it, but people in my life, I feel like use that to tell me when they're going through it. And I feel like this could be interesting for me to have more things to give back in return that conversation. So I wanted to just inform myself a little bit more and hear about what the author has to say on the topic. So I think that's it. I feel like it was a very random book haul for me this month. I just haven't been finding as much stuff, which is why next month, this is my last official one. The next one next month is solely going to be books that I'm buying because of you. I want your recommendations, specifically the best books you have read in 2023, because I will be doing a video next year, at least one, where I read your favorites. And we'll see how it goes. Do you have better taste than me, or just do we have similar taste, I should say? Because I feel like I'm always giving you recommendations, so it's time to give some back. Give me all of them. I want to know. I want to place a big old order online. I feel like I buy most of my books used, and you just never know what you're gonna find. And I'll probably still go shopping there just to see if I can find any of them, or just any in general that I'm intrigued by. But I want your recommendations. So that's it. Thumbs up, subscribe. I'll put more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out. I just did one where I talked about books or authors I will never read from again if you want something a bit more negative and controversial. And I will be seeing you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.